I had to take a stream off to do my private React videos for patrons, so that took away a little bit. Warzone, there wasn't as much Warzone this week as a lot of people wanted. And the 2 new games that I started were basically lengthy RPGs. And that's going to appeal to a certain group of people, but it's not going to appeal to everyone, right? I'm not going to lie. I do hope that today is a good support day. I actually had several slow days, and it sucks because it's not anyone's fault. It's not like I'm disappointed. We had overall a great week. But this was a week where, number one, I was starting up 2 RPGs, and I don't expect overwhelming amounts of support or attendance when I play RPGs, okay? Number 2, one day I only did 1 stream, right? Because I had to do the private patron React videos. And therefore, only doing 1 stream, you're only going to have half as much, support. I'm really hoping today for a strong day when it comes to, obviously, viewership. I'd love more people to come check out Signalis. It's a new game. Hopefully people support to help make up for the last few slower days that I've experienced because of baloney. It's baloney. It's funny. I will say this too, because as you know, I have detractors out there who want to say dumb shit, and they say, oh, you see, that day that Phil has to do those private React videos, that's not a big deal because he already got paid for that day through Patreon. That's correct. But what you have to understand is that I've had a Patreon since 2015. And I used to get a lot of support on my Patreon. And admittedly, it's dwindled for good reason. I'm a full-time streamer now. And most or all of my goals on Patreon are completely unrelated to the streams, right? Most of them have to do with either Ask the King, my bi-monthly Q&A show, or getting a private video made, right? It really has nothing to do with the stream whatsoever. It's almost like if you don't care about the streams, you can support me through Patreon. But what they won't say, these detractors, these critics, whatever you want to call them, is that, oh yeah, if you take a look, basically Phil's Patreon is the same level it's always been, right? It's a few $100 a month. So why is that if Phil now has all these new people coming and pledging to his Patreon to get private videos? Because a lot of people stopped pledging to my Patreon in the last couple of years. When I came back to YouTube full time, a lot of people said, well, I'm going to support Phil or try to support Phil via YouTube. And, a lot of people have canceled their ongoing Patreon support. That used to be a staple piece of support I would get every month, okay? So I used to always get, a few $100s of support without having to do a night stream off to do private patron videos. Now I have to do that to get the same amount of support. Pretty much for the last several months, there's been at least 1 day a month where I have had to step away from the standard content that I do and do basically kind of like a half day of streaming. And the reason for that has been quite simple. This year, I instituted something new and different. I did some React style content, correct? I reacted to quite a few documentaries on the internet. I reacted to other YouTube channels. I reacted to This Is How You Don't Play. We had some people who tossed around the idea that I already have a Patreon, and on my Patreon you could pledge $50 and get a private Q&A video. And they said, well, instead of Q&A, what if we were to request a private React video? Other people started jumping on the bandwagon and saying, oh, that's cool. I'd like to see Phil react to other things. I'd like to see Phil react to videos about space-time and science. I'd like to see Phil react to videos about tourism. I'd like to see him react to an inspirational, motivational video. I'd like to see him do this, do that. And so what's happened is over the course of this year, what started off as kind of an interesting, unique idea that kind of reinvigorated my Patreon, which pretty much had gone, let's be honest, unattended. It was getting very dusty. I wasn't really doing anything with it. It kind of made it a little bit interesting again, right? So many people started wanting to do these videos that I either had to start narrowing down the amount that I would accept, or I had to start taking out time from my daily routines in order to have time to do these. You pledge $50 or more, you get a video. Each video is going to be 20 to 30 minutes long. Can't be longer than 30 minutes. That's the limit, okay? So, You know, we started off with like maybe 1 or 2 videos a month, which is what? Maybe an hour of work, which isn't a big deal. I can easily squeeze that in between my streams or, you know, on a random day. But now that we're getting 4, 5, 6 or more requested videos a month, well, now we're in a situation where I got to figure out how do I fit this into my schedule. But now that we're getting 4, 5, 6 or more requested videos a month, you pledge $50 or more, you know, we started off with like maybe 1 or 2 videos a month, which is what? Maybe an hour of work, which isn't a big deal. I can easily squeeze that in between my streams or, you know, on a random day. So guys, by the way, we got about 55 minutes left on today's stream, just so everyone knows, this premiere stream of Oblivion. I hope you've been enjoying it. Thank you for your support, and thanks for chilling with me today. We are at 177 likes. If we hit 200, I'll do another bubble blow for you guys. That's so much engagement today. Thank you. All contributions are appreciated. We are so close to hitting the vest goal. It would be great if we hit that $150 vest goal to get it done now so we can vote and have that vest for maximum time. I do want to urge that if anyone was considering tipping, if you could do it as soon as possible so we can get the reward for the longest amount of time. All right. Once a month, I have to take some time off from my streams in order to film private patron react videos. It has become an increasingly more popular thing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I don't rarely ever talk about it, so I'm not shocked. So I have a Patreon. This month there's 4 again. So with 4 videos, that's roughly, you know, 2 hours of content to make. Yesterday, I'll be transparent with all of you. Yesterday, I only had 1 stream, right? And I had to spend the other half of the night doing private patron react videos, which I love doing, by the way. They're very fun. But I only streamed once yesterday. It was One Piece, and it was a slow stream. So today was my time to make that up. Let's have a really good, strong day to make up for the slow day yesterday. Okay? Well, first of all, before trolls say, oh, yeah, but you got money from Patreon. Yeah, I did. At the beginning of the month, that already went to bills. That doesn't factor into the daily income I'm making, you know? So it's funny, you know, I say, you know, guys, it is a little bit slower now because tonight I can't stream. Oh, he already got paid for that. Yeah, the same amount that I used to get paid without having to have a stream out. You know what I mean? But they don't see that aspect of it because they're scumbags. All they do is they sit around and try to do every little possible thing to say something negative about me. And, you know, they always spin it in a way that doesn't make sense. So here you go. I justify what I'm saying with facts. They have no facts. They just sit there. Slander, 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 slander. Well, hopefully Phil will never dispute this. So now that I finally explained to you what I mean when I say stuff like that, oh, well, here's another 400 things. Because it's called moving the goalpost. Once you disprove one thing they've said as nonsense, they move on to the next 47 things that I'm not going to waste time disproving because I won't ever have content for you. Okay?